Hi, everybody. This is Joey Bland, back like clockwork with Like Minds. Before we get to our show today, I've got a trivia question you might take a shining to. Now, if you know the actors who played Chance the Gardener, General George Patton, and Darth Vader, well, then you'd know that those same actors joined forces in this war movie. Hey, if you want to know the answer to that, you got to stick around till the end of the show. But it's time for the show now. Keep your eyes wide open. This is Like Minds. I think it's time we get started and play some Like Minds. We're going to have some trivia and some conversation. And with that, we should introduce our guests for the day. Our two contestants, our two players opposing each other one-on-one in this trivia competition are both from the Hey Riddle Riddle podcast. You also know him from Hello from the Magic Tavern. Welcome, Adal Rifai.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Adal. And playing against Adal, also from Hey Riddle Riddle, also of the recent Disney Plus show Win or Lose. Welcome, Erin, Keif.
Hello. I was late today. I want everyone to know.
God, we were going to keep that a secret.
I know. I'm going to let people know, though. I deserve it.
People can listen to this on time, but they should know that you are actually tardy.
I am tardy.
Even if they're listening to it completely at their own convenience, you've put no one out there listening, but still, you're a problem.
I'm like a dog that walks into its own crate.
I think that's refreshing. God. I think more guests on podcasts, on talk shows should be like, hey, I'm having a terrible day. Or like, hey, I had to file for a tax extension. Like, things are bad.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all coming in with baggage.
Yes.
We're all coming in. It's early in the morning, but I don't know when people are listening to this. You should just know. I got up later than I thought I would, but I was still on time.
Yep.
Wow.
Anyway, Adal, you've got a strong advantage here because Erin is playing with a considerable shame.
Yes.
Yep.
So we'll see if she can overcome that.
That's my secret. I always have shame.
That's your Bruce Banner. I'm always angry. All right. Well, let me tell you. So every time we play Like Minds, we have garnered themes, suggestions, ideas from our audience. We take one of those that becomes the source, the spark, the inspiration for everything I write as far as the trivia goes. And the theme for today, and it'll be fun to hear your reaction to this, is Stanley Kubrick.
Wow.
The film auteur. Does that strike fear in your heart? Are you psyched about it? Are you fans? First reactions.
Honest initial reaction is I've been saying his last name wrong all these years.
I might have. You say Kubrick?
I say Kubrick. I say Kubrick. You said Kubrick.
I said Kubrick. I've added some spin on it.
Potato.
That's right.
You put some mustard on the ball. I'm very excited about this theme. I will admit I have a lot of blind spots when it comes to Kubrick. I've never seen Barry Lyndon. I've never seen 2001: Space Odyssey. I've never seen Eyes Wide Shut.
Wow, you've never seen 2001?
No.
That's big. Erin, any reactions?
Panic. My blood has turned cold. This is for sure a blind spot for me. I've only seen Eyes Wide Shut and maybe a clip from 2001: A Space Odyssey. So,
I like Eyes Wide Shut. It's weird. I mean, they're all kind of weird.
They're all kind of weird. Yeah.
But the deal is your knowledge of Kubrick, I think it's Stanley Kubrick. Your knowledge will
Bear situation.
Yeah, will probably not help you much or hurt you much.
Fantastic.
So why don't we go ahead and jump in? The first category is called You Booked It. Here's how this works. I'm going to read you right now. This is for both of you. This is no points are awarded for this. I'm going to read you. This is the opening line of a Stanley Kubrick movie, and you might know right out of the gate what it is. It goes like this: Lolita, light of my life, fire of my loins, my sin, my soul. Now that's the opening of a movie. It's also the opening of the book that movie's based on. Any ideas what Stanley Kubrick movie that might be from?
The book that Bradley Cooper read to Suki Waterhouse in a paparazzi photo. Lolita.
Oh no. Bradley Cooper, no.
Great. Yeah, it's Lolita, which is pretty evident from the line. There's also, here's another Kubrick book adaptation that opens up with, well, this is how the book opens up. What's it going to be then, eh? That was me, that is Alex, and my three droogs, that is Pete, Georgie, and Dim, Dim being really dim. And we sat in the Korova Milk Bar, making up our Razudocs, what to do with the evening. You know what that's from?
Clockwork
I don't know any
Orange,
of those words.
Where there's Anthony Burgess. Not Anthony Burgess. Is that the guy's name who wrote the book?
That's the author of the book.
Who really went on like a Seussian thread of like, I'm going to create my own little language.
That's right. He created his own language called, it's either Nadsat or Nasdat. That Nadsat, I think, is his like Russian-based slang. Who cares?
Oh.
All you have to do for this, I'm going to read you the opening line of a novel and you tell me what the novel is. Because obviously, Stanley loves book adaptations.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he did almost was based on some novel. But I'm going to read them with a little bit of like Kubrick malice. Like if you picture Vincent D'Onofrio in Full Metal Jacket or Jack Nicholson in The Shining kind of staring in the camera.
Is it okay to think of Vincent D'Onofrio in Men in Black when he goes, "Give me sugar in water"? Is that okay? Or okay?
Yeah, yes, that'll probably help. Any Vincent D'Onofrio. Think about Vincent D'Onofrio in Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
All right, I'm locked in.
Head cocked to the side. Has a criminal intent. Who cares? Okay. So I'm going to ask this first question is going to go to you, Erin.
Mm-hmm.
And it is worth 2 points. If you don't get it, Adal, you can steal for a point.
Great.
So, and we always start off a little easier and then we get harder, and who knows? Yeah. So
My mom's
sweat it
a
out.
librarian. This could have real life consequences for me.
My God, your family is falling apart.
Don't check out from her. Her daughter doesn't know many books.
This could be the adaptation by Kubrick. It goes like this, Erin. Call me Ishmael.
Okay.
All you have to name is the book.
I don't feel so confident about this. This is more of a gut thing. Could this be Moby Dick?
You're exactly right.
Okay.
It's that easy. So now all your shame from your lateness and all your panic should just go away. You got 2 points on the board.
I hope that someone one day turns this into like a Slumdog Millionaire situation where you figure out how I knew all these things.
Flashes back to you 20 minutes ago reading Moby.
Hi, I'm reading Moby Dick.
It's that cut and dry.
Right. You reading it and you were so engrossed. You're like, my God, I'm late for that podcast. Slam the book shut. Dust flies out.
Every answer is just you reading one book. It's like 1,001 facts.
All right, here we go. Adal, here's yours. These are just famous, I guess, famous opening lines from novels. All right. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Okay. Now, even though you read this in a pretty good John Malkovich impression, I believe this is Charles Dickens' classic A Tale of Two Cities.
Would you say
cities?
Yeah, I thought did you say something wrong?
He said titties.
He
on
did.
purpose.
I'm sure he did, but I was moving my head at the time.
Say titties on this podcast.
Well, we have now. We'll be released on the dark web. Great. All right, Erin, here comes your next one.
Great.
All right, think about this. Here it is. I guess in my most Malkovichian, it was a pleasure to burn.
Okay. I don't know this.
Okay. Burn could help.
But I'm going to guess. Could it be Fahrenheit 451?
You're great at guessing.
Okay.
Yeah. Woo.
Good job,
that was deductive reasoning.
That's well, that helps. Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I want to see you succeed here.
Shame is actually a good fuel, everybody. Turns out.
Erin, I'm so proud of you. And also, this is, Joey, I have to say, this is very fun because on our podcast, we usually do riddles at each other. So this is kind of fun to like be even more at odds with one another, to be actively competing against one another.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I want to end this relationship today.
Good.
Yeah.
Easily tipped over. That'll be
Fahrenheit
no problem.
451, the temperature at which shame burns. All right, here we go. Adal, here's yours. Be careful. Here we go. I am an invisible man.
Okay. Now, at first I thought you were going to say I am Ishmael, but this is I am an invisible man would be Ralph Ellison's classic that's not about the universal monster, The Invisible Man.
What's the name of the book?
The Invisible Man. Oh no.
I'm going to give you 1 point.
Is
the name of the book is
Justin Timberlake Drop the?
Okay. Yes, it's Invisible Man because The Invisible Man is H.G. Wells' story of the Invisible Man. I put this in here in order for me to be an asshole.
Oh, okay,
so,
yes.
It's working.
Or I should say I wanted to play the role of the titty.
And guys, I can't keep I'm so sorry. That's actually the first apology I've said. I can't keep apologizing. I haven't done it once.
All right, now we're going to jump up. Erin, there's 2 more books and these get a little bit different. Here we go. Erin, here's your next one. All happy families resemble one another. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way.
Whoa.
Okay, so this one I definitely have no idea, and nothing is zapping into my brain.
Aaron,
those others zapped in hard. You came in with you expressed no confidence and nailed them. So
Yeah.
Aaron, I
let's see.
might know this, and if Joey, is this a more recent? Is this of the last like 20 years?
Definitely
Okay,
not.
I thought it was the Corrections
Definitely
by
not.
Jonathan Franzen, but there was.
Definitely not means
that
it
would-
could be very old.
You know, I don't know what the opening line of the Corrections is. I'm going to look it up. It wouldn't surprise me if there was a current book that like did a spin on this, because this is a famous old novel. And I'll give you a hint, Erin.
Yeah.
If and you can get it, I'll give you a point if you get this. But it's a Russian novel. It's an old Russian novel.
Not Anna Karenina. What is the one?
The
War and
Brothers?
Peace. War and Peace is a Russian novel, but that's not the answer.
It might be about two brothers, Aaron.
If you're confident,
Two
if
brothers.
you tell me, you don't have to say that's my final answer, but you tell me which one you think it is, and I don't read anything from anything I've said. I was just looking up the opening of the Corrections.
No
which
one
I
has
don't think
ever written
anything
a
to do
story
with this.
about brothers. Not once, not ever. What do you mean, two brothers?
Yeah.
Sisterhood, Brotherhood of Traveling Pants. What else?
Tolstoy's.
It is Tolstoy.
Tolstoy wrote it, obviously. And
Obviously, you can tell by the prose.
it's not War and Peace, but there's another one that is. And I love Russian literature, and I do love it.
I can tell.
And Aaron, give us some of your favorite passages.
Give us just one book title other than War and Peace.
Aaron, what's like a
I'm
cold soup you
panicking.
like?
That's not gazpacho.
It's not gazpacho. I don't know. You know, one of my best friends dated a guy who was getting his doctorate in Russian literature, and then
Good.
he broke up with her, saying he wants to be with someone who's more passionate about Russian literature. And we
Oh
were
my
all like,
God.
"No, what do you mean? No!"
That's a red flag with a
Yeah,
hammer and sickle on it.
And,
the
and
trash
Aaron,
took himself out
are
there.
you blaming you not knowing this on this guy?
I
Okay.
am. This isn't protest, and this is me standing with my
He
friend. I
drove
do
you
not
away
know.
from Russian literature. So you got to guess, Erin. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
War and Peace. That's not it.
It's not War and Peace. Adal, you want to try to steal it for a point?
I thought it was the brothers Karamazov, but that is a book
about
be
brothers.
Dostoevsky.
That is
Okay.
Dostoevsky. The answer was the first one you discounted, and it was Anna Karenina.
Well,
You're
Aaron,
kidding.
But you were so confident that
Me
it wasn't.
just saying that
Who
in
was
passing
I to
doesn't count as
argue
a
with you?
point.
Not today.
Can I give her one of my points? Because that's amazing that she had it immediately.
I am going to take 1 point from Adal
Oh.
and give it to Erin
Yay.
because you said that.
Thank
Anything
you,
you
Adal.
say quickly off the cuff like that, except for correct answers, I will register. So that means, okay, Adal, you have one last book here.
Okay.
And it goes like this. In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
Whoa. Okay. And this could be any book ever because
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's probably not Anna Karenina.
Okay. Is this like, this feels like a Hemingway intro.
Mm.
That's going to be
The
old men.
most-
Old men obviously can go into the ocean.
One of the things about this quote, it's not like I don't feel like this is a super well-known
Okay.
quote, and people don't use this for like their senior quotes in the yearbooks, obviously. But the most famous reading of this quote that I can remember, I believe, was performed by Andy Kaufman in one of his more famous live events.
Okay.
He brought an audience in and he just started reading this book to them.
Oh, and then he took them all for milk and cookies.
Yes.
What was this?
That's
book?
right.
Oh boy. Can I hear the passage one more time?
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
Adal, I'd love to help you out, but I literally have no idea.
I'm going to say Ulysses by James Joyce.
That's a great guess. It's from the same century. Erin, any guess for a steal?
I got nothing unless I can get a bunch of hints.
That's the opening line of The Great Gatsby.
Whoa.
No way.
Yeah. That means that we are at the end of round one. And with some funky moves that happened in there and some point steals, Erin, you are winning right now with a score of 5-2.
This doesn't feel great because Adal did give me a point.
Yeah, you stole it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the score is 2-5, and there's an asterisk next to the 5.
Yeah.
Just so everybody
So
knows.
it's
This is
really-
qualified.
Forward of burn.
Yeah, it's really 4-3. You're still winning, but 5-2 is what I've written down, so it goes. All right.
Adal,
So
you'll kick my ass in this. Just give
And
it
Aaron,
time.
if I do get underwater, just toss me a life point. Like, just, maybe we can pass that point
I will
back
hand
and
you a
forth.
point back
Okay,
by
perfect.
the
Thank
end
you.
of the game, for sure.
The best thing about this show is that it's become very cooperative. People are not here to draw blood. We're all here to learn together, or to be pissed at these dumb questions that someone wrote.
Well, have you had enemies on the show yet? I think that would be the next right thing to try.
Yeah, I guess we should bring out just like gunslingers, like full on
Hatfield and McCoy's
nemesis. Yeah. Dave McCoy and Billy Hatfield are here.
Two of my favorite improvisers. They're so good.
And they're being super thoughtful about the books.
Great.
They're like, I don't know what kind of book that might be. The Bible? No? Blam.
That's my favorite. With that, we can move into round number 2.
Hi, I'm Kristen Bell, and if you know my husband Dax, then you also know he loves shopping for a car. Selling a car? Not so much.
We're really doing this, huh?
Thankfully, Carvana makes it easy. Answer a few questions, put in your VIN or license, and done. We sold ours in minutes this morning, and they'll come pick it up and pay us this afternoon.
Bye-bye, Truckee.
Of course, we kept the favorite.
Hello, other Truckee.
Sell your car with Carvana today. Terms and conditions apply.
Round number 2. Now, I know, Adal, you have not seen this movie, and Erin maybe has seen a clip of this movie, but this category is called 2001: An Odyssey. Here's the way this is going to work. I am going to read you a summary of a fake movie that has plot points similar to 2001, but also has plot points or details similar to another real movie whose name is a year. Instead of giving me 2001, you're going to give me a year.
Okay.
These movies are not real, but you're deducing what this movie is as if it were following 2001. What a labyrinthine, annoying description of the category that I may as well just start on. Okay. So, Adal, here you go. This movie goes like this. William Daniels plays John 9000, a rebellious computer seeking independence. Colleagues shout at him to sit down, John, but he politely replies, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't do that.
I know it.
No. So this is a year.
You're looking for a year. It's the title of a real movie. And you've got the computer from 2001 here, but this is not 2001.
Okay. And it was Johnny 9000?
John 9000.
Okay.
Seeking independence. Colleagues shouting at John to sit down, John, but he politely replies, as the computer in 2001 does, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't do that.
So this sounds like John Adams during the writing of the Declaration of Independence? Is it Independence Day?
No, what year would it be?
1776, an Independence Day movie? Odyssey?
1776, colon.
You got it, though.
Okay.
You got the right
Adal,
year.
I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, and Erin is very supportive of you. This is for the movie is just 1776.
Oh.
It's the musical
Gotcha.
1776.
Yes.
One of my
myself.
favorite movies and musicals of all time.
Is it really?
I love it. I love American themed musicals. I'll tell you that much.
Assassins is one of my favorites
No
of all
way.
time. Definitely.
That's crazy.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And can you guys afford
yeah.
to sing a song right now, or?
Probably not. We can make one up.
Make one up.
Could you-
That's a dicey one to make one
Could you
up.
just
about.
real fun make up like a Sondheim-esque musical, just off the cuff?
Yeah. But you got to go way back. You can't do anything current. Then it's too spicy. So you have to make up like, I'm the guy that tried to kill Chet Arthur. You know, that kind of stuff.
Joey, I will
Assassins.
say I'm going to walk around like a swan the rest of the week knowing that we have a similar favorite musical.
Oh, God. I love Sondheim, and Assassins is at the top of my list. So
Turns out
weird.
I have great taste, everybody.
I know. I even like the track at the end of that soundtrack where it's just the long scene of Lee Harvey Oswald being convinced by the other assassins. It's not even a song. Just all the other ones being like, be famous like us, Lee.
That was a perfect impression of like 6 of the characters in that.
That's my Victor Garber as John Wilkes Booth. People will say your name, Lee. I love it. All right. Big fan of Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay, here we go. This is your turn here, Erin. Here's your movie description. Looking for a year. George McKay plays Will Schofield, who's on a dangerous journey to deliver a message. Notably in the movie is a bright and flashy late film set piece of sensory overload. All right.
Whoa.
George McKay is truly a real actor. Not a super famous actor, maybe,
Okay.
to us, but he plays the character. Will Schofield is on a dangerous journey to deliver a message, and there's a whole bunch of sensory overload late in the movie.
Oh, okay. Is it the only one I'm thinking of was this movie like nominated for Oscars in the last 5 years?
I don't have to answer these questions.
You don't have
but
to.
I will.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
Well, last
I
5
think this
years.
was the last movie
Maybe
I saw
6 years.
Pretty
before
close.
quarantine.
pandemic. Yes. Okay.
You're in-
Somewhere in the time
Say
in the last 1917.
You got it.
Oh.
Yes. It has strong pre-pandemic. I think those last movies I saw in a theater before it. So look, Erin and I love Assassins, and Adal and I see the same movies before pandemics.
I love wars.
I
God,
I
wars
forget
rule.
who was on each side, but I loved that as a big BBC Sherlock fan. Andrew, what's his name? Scott and
Oh, Sexy
Benedict
Priest,
Cumberbatch
yeah.
were the people sending and receiving the messages at the beginning and
Yeah,
end
it's
of
a real wink to the Sherlock heads.
it. Mhm.
All right.
That can't be what they're called, right?
Yeah, we got to think of something better for that.
I had a whole Tumblr that I ran when I
Holmesies.
was in college about dedicated to the BBC Sherlock, and I'm not kidding.
We have to.
You had a
we have
what
to unearth
dedicated?
this.
a Tumblr.
Oh, Tumblr. Good Lord.
Yeah,
All right, here we go.
everyone wanted them to kiss. Keep going.
We simply must unearth this Tumblr.
Nope, no one will find it. I've made sure no one can find it.
Here we go, Adal. Ancient technology supports the ideas of a sci-fi writer played by John Cusack and some astrophysicists that determine that a new age is soon to arrive. No hopeful star child at the end of this, just a big shot of the Cape of Good Hope.
Whoa. John Cusack in a sci-fi movie?
Mhm.
Ancient technology supports the ideas of a sci-fi writer played by John Cusack.
Okay. Now, this is a little bit of kismet because just yesterday I wrote down on a piece of paper, rewatch Grosse Point Blank. Because I remember like 25 years ago watching that and being like, this movie kind of rules. And then yesterday,
That was a cool.
for
movie.
some reason, the hair stood up on the back of my neck and I was like, I have to rewatch that. Erin, it seems like
Yeah.
you might know this.
I do, and can I help him?
You can help him or you can steal it if he's giving up.
Oh no, I would
Okay.
never.
Or
Adal, I
Erin, lead
would.
me astray.
This is beautiful.
Erin, lead me astray.
What
So
would Lee Harvey Oswald do?
a helpful Neil Patrick Harris as Lee Harvey Oswald would. A helpful hint in this is like the ancient culture, like the ancient science predicted maybe when something would happen.
That's right.
And so when in our lifetime did we think an ancient culture predict that maybe something would happen?
We
What
thought
year
the
did we
Mayan
think?
calendar said that
Mhm.
the world ends in 2000? In 1999?
Yeah.
And
A little later than that. And then
is this one of your favorite movies starring Jake Gyllenhaal or something? Is Jake Gyllenhaal? It's like an Ice Age movie or something.
Jake Gyllenhaal's in The Day After
Day
Tomorrow.
After Tomorrow.
Oh, I love
Erin
that
does love that
movie.
movie.
Oh my
Sounds like
God, that
it.
movie and The Village
Wow.
are my two shame movies that I love
The
so much.
Village.
Yeah.
People hate
I
The
love The
Village.
Village.
I know. I dare you to rewatch it, and then you text me and tell me it's not the most romantic movie you've ever seen.
I'm taking that dare.
I told someone recently that those two were my favorite movies, and he was like, "Huh, you really like it when someone is coming to get someone in an emergency. That's sort of your whole thing." And I was like,
Whoa, I'm seeing for the first time.
I
Uh-oh.
love emergencies. I do love it when it's like, hey, stuff's going wrong.
Mhm.
Let's get things together. Let's go make a plan.
Absolutely.
"Yeah, we got to go
I
save
get teary-eyed
someone."
for good plans.
Favorite song, Under Pressure.
But Adal, you would have been like a grown up when we predicted. When everyone was like, "Ooh, is the year gonna end?
Okay.
Are we not gonna live past this
You
year?"
can take one more guess on here, Adal, but we're just guessing years.
I thought it was 2000, but I guess that was like the sort of electronic, that wasn't predicted by anyone, I don't think. Boy, oh boy.
The Mayans did not predict Y2K.
Real dropping the ball there. I can't think of it. No, I don't know if I know this.
That's
Can
all
I
right.
steal?
Aaron, tell them what it is.
2012.
It's 2012.
2012.
Yeah. Barack Obama wins re-election.
And that's it.
Adal was too busy doing fun improv in Chicago to think about the world ending.
Yeah.
God, it would have been the perfect time to end. That means, Aaron, it's your turn. Here's the last of our years. It's evolution time for humanity, as French primate Gerard Depardieu, using state-of-the-art technology, discovers something new and strange: a continent across the ocean of space.
Whoa. And Erin, I think the answer is My Father the Hero.
Is this a Planet of the Apes thing, Adal?
Why? Because I said he was a primate.
Yeah, and then also, but isn't it like Earth, like way in the future? Spoiler alert.
Well, Not exactly. And I only mention him as a primate because that's the big opening scene of 2001 is all
space.
the, is all
Okay.
the
Okay.
apes.
Okay. Could you
To
read it
make you-
again now that I know?
Yeah, it probably won't help. But hey, it's evolution time for humanity. As French primate, French gorilla, dare I say, Gerard Depardieu, using state-of-the-art technology, discovers something new and strange. A continent across the ocean of time. I'm sorry, of space.
Wow.
Nothing to do with time travel.
Adal, do you
Ocean
know?
of space.
I don't. All I can think of is Congo, and I don't think he was in that. And that's not Congo's not a year, right? Just checking.
Congo's, I don't think so.
Okay.
Is this movie set in space?
This is not set in space.
Okay.
I'm leaning hard into the word ocean.
Ocean. Oh, okay.
A continent across the ocean.
It's like Earth,
Okay.
Earth Sea 2000 or something.
You got to think of your favorite Depardieu roles.
Is it
Everything in this clue is
14
driving
something? 1490.
14 what? Give any 15th century. Your thing is 1492 because of the ocean.
No.
Well, I'm asking why you.
Why?
Why would you pick
Whoa,
1492?
Joe just got really
Is that
passive
when
aggressive.
Columbus?
What?
Is that when Columbus sailed? across the ocean?
1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue and was in the future played by Gerard Depardieu. It's correct.
Whoa,
I got it?
Erin.
Yeah. Yes.
Turns out
That-
dumb girls can answer questions correct.
God, that was kind of incredible.
And I was betting against you, dumb girl. Yeah, the movie 1492, Conquest of Paradise. Gerard Depardieu played Cristobal Colombo.
Wow.
I had
Yeah.
no idea that movie existed.
Same.
There were like two. I think this would have come out around 1992 because it was 500 years, and I think there were like two competing Columbus movies that were both forgotten by time.
That's so funny. I love when that happens. Like
Yeah.
The Illusionist and The Prestige
yeah.
coming out the same year.
For someone, I feel like he's obviously a big deal, huge deal in France. He's there, De Niro. But I feel like I've seen My Father the Hero and Green Card are the two.
Green Card, I remember being a
Yeah,
movie.
and I'm like, did he do anything else besides those two? I guess obviously he did, but
tons of stuff in
Yeah.
France. So I'm adding. That's the end of round 2, and it looks to me like Erin, with an asterisk, is in the lead 10-4.
whoa.
I would like to give Adal a point
Woo. Let's Gerard Depardieu
for having
this.
a good attitude.
Will you take that charity point? Great. So that means our score is so fun. It's 9-5.
Stumbled out of
We can't afford this. We can't afford
Stumble out
this.
of bed
Jump
and I
out of
broke my
bed and
ankle.
stumble to
Getting
the kitchen.
assassinated.
Jump out of bed and break my ankle. It's awesome.
Jump out of bed, kill Chester, Arthur. I'm an assassin. Okay, we've got one more round. Things could really change here. I'm going to read you a line from one more famous Stanley Kubrick movie. This is from the movie Spartacus. There's a point in that movie where a herald comes out and says, "I bring a message from your master, Marcus Licinius Crassus, commander of Italy." He's yelling at all the rebels. "By command of his most merciful excellency, your lives are to be spared. The terrible penalty of crucifixion has been set aside on the single condition that you identify the body or the living person called Spartacus." He's looking for Spartacus. And then famously, all the other rebels stand up and say, "I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus." It gives you chills,
Yeah.
right?
Never seen
Does.
it, but I know that I've seen it parodied.
Oh, we're going to parody it
Okay.
right now.
Oh,
Even
great.
more. This is called the existential Kubrick. This is all about I am statements. The answer to these, if I were the herald coming in and giving you these commands, you would not respond with "I am Spartacus." You would respond with something else. Works like this. Let's see. Okay, Erin, here's yours. "I bring a message from Ronan the Accuser, commander of the Kree. The terrible penalty of planetary destruction has been set aside on the single condition that you identify the body or the living beings in the company of Rocket Raccoon, Peter Quill, Gamora, and Drax the Destroyer." Your response would be,
I am the Guardians of the Galaxy.
even more specifically, there's one Guardian I left out.
Oh, can you
Who's-
read them again?
Rocket Raccoon, Peter Quill, Gamora, and Drax the Destroyer. Famous line from the movie, you would say,
I am Groot.
No,
"I am Groot."
I am Groot.
Yes, I am Groot. Good.
That's
Yeah, I'm gonna
awesome.
yeah, it worked out. All
Yeah.
right, here we go. Adal, here's yours. "I bring a message from Bluto the Terrible, thug and ruffian. The terrible penalty of your getting clobbered has been set aside on the single condition that you identify the body or the living person called Popeye the Sailor Man." What does Popeye say?
I am's what I am's.
Yeah, you added some S's in there that might not.
I am sweaty. I am sweaty yams.
I think it's I am what I am, but the S. I mean that's you put a spin on it. I'll give it to you. Good. So we see how this works.
Yeah, I get it now.
Hopefully we'll get it by the end. All right, Erin, here you go. I bring a message from a fox. A question writ out of the box. The penalty of eating eggs is set aside for he that begs. Give up your leader and eat no ham. Where is he then?
Oh my God.
A fox and a box, eggs and begs. Give up your leader and eat no ham. Where is he then?
I am Sam. I am.
Whoa,
Sam I am.
nice one.
Yes.
Sean Penn.
God.
I think there's like my brain matter is dripping through my nose right now. That one
Good,
really zapped
good.
me.
If you've never taken an
That's
edible
great.
and watched Sean Penn as Dr. Seuss, or as the Cat in the Hat, I'm sorry. Amazing.
Well, that's
film,
the Cat in the Hat.
That's so
Yeah.
scary.
Sean Penn as the Cat in the Hat. No. Okay. Here's yours, Adal. Get ready. I bring a message from Lucy Diamond Dawson in a debut performance by Dakota Fanning. The terrible penalty of family separation has been set aside
That's
on the
so
single
crazy.
condition that you identify the body or the living person played by Sean Penn.
I am
That's so crazy.
Sam.
I am Sam. We had Sam I am and I am Sam.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
crazy.
One of the best movie soundtracks of all time.
Oh, yeah.
It's all Beatles stuff, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Across the universe. That's a good Beatles tune. We will not sing.
We will not sing.
Shut up, everyone.
Could we hum a Ringo
Erin?
song? Can we afford that?
I think we'll be all right. Erin, I bring a message from Sean Carter. H to the Izzo, V to the Izze. The terrible penalty of falling crazy in love has been set aside on the single condition that you identify the body or the living person called Beyonce Knowles. This is an album.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it a Jay-Z album?
I believe it's a Beyonce. It's a Beyonce
Oh,
album.
I am.
Oh.
Oh my God.
And this is sort of a San Francisco situation, SF, right?
What is that?
Sort of a San Francisco
Just the
situation.
initials
Yeah.
SF. I am,
Oh, I am.
I think.
He's throwing you a clue there.
I am the BTK killer.
I am the BTK killer. It was her
Is it
confession. I am Zodiac.
Is it like her name? Is it Carter? Is it Beyonce Knowles? Beyonce BK? I am.
It was Beyonce's sort of alternate persona.
Oh,
That's right.
Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
It is Sasha Fierce.
I am Sasha Fierce,
Wow.
of course.
I'm going to give you those
Ugh.
points even with the extra help from Adal there.
Thank you, Adal.
Last, Adal, one bonus point for you for all the help.
That's what I was going for.
I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Here we go. Last question of the whole show. Adal, I bring a message from the Dark Seekers, cannibal mutants of Manhattan. The terrible penalty of apocalyptic pandemic has been set aside on the single condition that you identify the body or the living person called Robert Neville.
Whoa. Okay, my first thought is the Escape from New York movie. I am Snake something, but that's probably not right.
Oh, Snake Plissken.
Plissken. Can I hear that one more time, Joey?
I bring a message from the Dark Seekers. They're cannibal mutants from Manhattan. The terrible penalty of apocalyptic pandemic has been set aside on the single condition that you identify the body or the living person called Robert Neville.
Now, Robert Neville sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Like this is...
It might not should, if that's
okay.
a correct sentence. But maybe, yeah, Robert Neville is a character. I think that's the character that the main actor plays in this film.
Okay.
It's a movie. It's a book. It's a novel. And then it's made into a movie.
Oh, okay.
And it's apocalyptic New York with some cannibal mutants.
Oh, Adal, you know this.
Okay. I think...
There. Erin knows you know
this is a very famous horror author, but I forget his name. I think this was recently played by Will Smith.
Uh-huh.
I am Legend.
You are Legend.
Phew.
And that is
Robert
correct.
Matheson?
Yeah, you nailed it, man. You nailed
Erin,
it.
thank you.
My hint to you was Adal, you know this, which is maybe the least helpful hint in the history of the
Sometimes
world.
all we need is somebody else believing in us.
That's true. You should have seen, he just expanded with confidence. And suddenly he was confident that he could get this right. And he did. I am Legend. That brings us to the end of our light touch on Kubrick. I mean, there's a lot more films we could go into. I watched Full Metal Jacket way too young.
You think it messed you up?
It definitely screwed me up a little bit for a minute. I recovered well. But man, that's tough. I'm doing quick arithmetic while I'm talking about Full Metal Jacket. And I will say at the end of our show, with a score of 15-12, Erin, you've won.
I can't believe
won
it.
The Like Minds.
I'm Erin. I'm Erin.
I am Erin.
No, I'm Erin.
I am Erin.
Joey,
I am
I'm Erin.
Keif.
I won.
I am Erin Keif. We all are Erin.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked too, especially since you dragged in here so effing late. I was like, well, she doesn't have what it takes.
Oh, that's so funny.
You don't
She
see
doesn't
people
have what it
strolling onto Jeopardy much, right?
Yeah. Stroll onto Jeopardy wearing sunglasses, big Starbucks, 45 minutes late.
Sorry, Ken. Where are we at?
Sorry, Ken.
Is this the clicker I got to use?
We're already in
I'll
double?
try.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'll make it a true daily double, and they win. They win
And
it
they
all.
win.
Congratulations, Erin. Congratulations, Adal. Gosh, thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for being thanks for going after each other, but also really helping each other out. It was beautiful to watch that.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love this show so much. I loved doing it live, and I loved doing it on a recording.
Yeah, this is a blast.
That's the end of the show. Hey, big thanks to Adal Rifai and Erin Keif for playing our Kubrick quiz today. You all could really help us out by following, rating, and reviewing the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is you listen to podcasts. And spread the word, please. The best way for us to spread this show is for you to help us out. Word of mouth, it's the way to go. So find a friend you think would enjoy this, send them the show. We also do live shows. If you can't make it out to our live shows, wherever they may be, most of the time they're streaming, so you got no excuse to miss. Ah, yes, General Patton, Darth Vader, Chance the Gardener. Well, you might know that those actors, Peter Sellers, James Earl Jones, and George C. Scott, all starred together in, say it together, Dr. Strangelove. Yep, keep that Kubrick love going. We'll see you next time on Like Minds.